get a cup of water.
All right.
Yes, sir. Wow, that was amazing. Amazing.
All right, guys. For those of you listening, we got Chance Bernard, Athlete of the Month, on tonight. And I figured we would just have a good conversation, get to know Chance a little bit more. He's been around the gym for a little bit. He's such an asset to this place. Really embodies the spirit of what we're trying to do. So we're just going to talk about what he's been up to and all that good stuff. He's just grabbing a cup of water right now.
Amazing workout.
Yeah, it kicked my butt for sure.
Kick my butt, man. I'll wait till we go live.
Oh, we're live.
We're live.
We're good. We're gonna roll right into it.
We're gonna roll right into it, man. Man, listen, I started to break down on the toes the bar, so I came off the bar and just started doing singles. And I saw Johnny doing it. He was do one, turn around, and do it from the other direction, just back and forth. And it started to give me a better rhythm, because once you break down, I'm a mess up there.
Yeah.
Hipping. So I got the first. I was doing sets of like 5 and coming off, 5 coming off. But once I got to like 25, I would do one and then try to do another one, and it was just a mess.
Mm-hmm.
So I started doing singles, but I got that done. But I mean, it took me the whole 16. It was like 15:58.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I scaled it down a bunch. My goal was to try to scale it to the point where I could hit it in the target. So I ended up lowering the wall ball, and I started with toes to bar, but I ended up dropping to knee raises.
Yeah, I had a couple knee raises in there. I mean, I didn't do every single one was a toe to bar, so I scaled it.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to put it in Modify.
Oh, you should still put it in there and just add it in the notes. That way you can keep track.
Yeah, I should keep track of it. But I did hit the 175 for the squat.
Oh, nice! You beat me. I think I hit 165 today.
Yeah, I did 165 2 weeks ago, and I don't know.
Okay.
I guess last week, because we had the holiday, and then Friday was the game. I somehow missed last week's squat.
Well, last week's it was Friday.
Okay, that's why. Because we left at like 6 o'clock or whatever. We didn't work out, so yeah, I missed that. So I did 165 2 weeks ago, so I jumped into the 175. But my legs, I can feel it tonight.
And then we had to do more squats.
and then we had to do those. Man, those wall balls are killer.
So, you're Athlete of the Month this month.
Okay. I'll take it.
Yeah, congrats. It's well deserved. We were talked about it as coaches during one of the coaches meetings, and I will say the second it was brought up who it should be, your girl Jocelyn was like, it should be Chance. And of course, a bunch of us are huge Chance fans, so we were like, yes. And Dave was just like, it's settled.
Right on, man. Well, thank you guys. I really appreciate it. It's it is nice that they do this, because it makes you feel good, man. That you're recognized, and I just have so much fun up there with all of y'all. Every class I go to, whether it's 9 o'clock on Saturday morning or I like the 6:30 class, and it's just a lot of fun. So working out when it's fun, you want to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it makes it easy to be there.
It's like hanging out with your buddies now.
Yeah, it's like hanging out. It's like if I'm not there, I'm kind of like, why am I not at the gym? And it's 6. What am I doing right now? What's going on here? Yeah.
So time is kind of a weird thing. It seems like people have been at the gym longer or less than I realized. So when did you actually like sign up and get your butt in the gym?
It was for Revival. It was October last year.
Okay.
Like October 21st, I think it was.
Oh, it was right before my birthday.
Yeah. So I was going to the one that's down, in Crofton. It was called Innocuous.
Oh, oh, yeah, I can never say it right, but it was
I
like
can never say it right, but it's a Greek word.
CQI or something. I think they were calling themselves,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. They had CrossFit Innocuous. CFI is what they was.
CFI, that's what it was. Yeah.
CFI. Yeah. So,
Um,
but that was a great. It was a good gym, but they closed, and they closed in October.
oh, so that's why you came because they were closing.
Yes, because they were closing, and I wanted to find another gym, and I put in CrossFit near me, and
Hmm.
Revival came up, and I'm very happy to have found it.
So the funny thing is I never searched for CrossFit gyms near me. I just
Mm,
always saw Revival, and it wasn't Revival then, but like, um, and that's what brought me in the door was I had seen it,
mm.
and me and you live real close to each other. If I had known that that other gym was closer, I probably would have checked that place out first.
Yeah, see, I found
Um,
that going online, but Googling it, and went there from January of 2021 last year until they closed, in October.
that's cool. So I didn't realize um, right away that you actually were like a CrossFit vet. Um,
Yeah, kind of a little bit. I had about 9 months. I did take off the month of August. I kind of hurt my shoulder benching
mhm.
over the summer last year, and I laid off for the whole month. Started getting back into it in September. Then I found out they were closing, so I wasn't quite as into it. But what
Mhm.
really got me into it is I started in January, and in like at Revival, March, April, they started talking about the Murph.
Okay.
So that really got me going, when I was at the other gym also, and we did the Murph there. So I really like that. I like the Murph. It's a lot of fun.
It's nice to always have something to train for, and I think we
Yeah.
do a good job at like throwing things at people that to train for. Like we always do the Murph. The Open's coming up in February, so you go from like Open to the Murph,
Murph.
and then we just had our powerlifting meet, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Um, and I think I still have to run it by ownership for exact dates and stuff. But the last two previous years, Coach Gabe, when he was here, he did a Olympic lifting like meet,
Oh,
and it was like right around Thanksgiving, and so I kind of want to keep that alive.
yeah.
I might change some things myself from the way he ran it, but I like the idea of it. It would be very similar to the powerlifting one, except you're going in and you get 3 attempts with your snatch, 3 attempts with your clean and jerk.
Oh, wow.
It doesn't have to be squat. It can be it would be very similar to like the Olympic rules, where like as long as it's a good lift, it's a good lift.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, but enough about that. Let's talk about you, because that's the reason why we brought you on. I want to talk and have the other members who don't get a chance to drop in at the PM classes to get to know you a little bit more. Um, so you live around the area. You're in Bowie.
Really?
You've been here for a year in the gym, and you've kind of became a real staple and part of the heart of 630. I mean, I love seeing you around. I love when you're in class. I love working out next to you. It's awesome. I've seen you do some really cool stuff in the sense of like you put in some hard work and you're getting a lot better at things, which is real cool to see. You put in extra time. You work with other people and you help them out. I remember seeing you do a workout with us one day, and then someone was at 6:30 and they were by themselves. I think it was Nicole, and you just turned around, you just did the workout again, and I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know too many people who would do that. That's pretty awesome. Um, so you just started, you just finished your first competition. You did the
Yeah.
syndicate series with us. How did that feel?
It was awesome. I mean, the
Yeah.
competition, yeah, being in like you said, training and then doing a competition, everything coming together like that it's a lot of fun. I really get a lot of fun out of it, and the camaraderie of it, I think, is what I
Mm-hmm.
really like. When all of us are together, and then having people from the gym just come that weren't even in the competition. There's my work phone. Uh-oh, turn that off. But yeah, man, and we make it a good time, and then we stayed after
Hmm.
and hung out. So it's like you said, it's like hanging out with your buds, with your friends,
Hmm.
and it's something that we have in common. The CrossFit has brought us, even though we're in different walks of life. I'm 20 years older than some of you guys, and we've got that CrossFit is our common denominator that brings us together. And then the
Yeah.
other we have in common, you live in Bowie, I live in Bowie. We didn't know each other before CrossFit.
Yeah, and we probably wouldn't have.
We
Like
would have never, I mean, yeah, we would have probably never ran into each other. So it's a
Mhm.
common denominator that just links us together, and we have that bond. It's like a bond.
I remember. So I grew up in a really religious household where we were going to church several times a week,
Mm,
and we go out into town, and like you couldn't go anywhere without bumping into someone, right? You go to the grocery store. There, there's Steve from church, and you go
mm,
to a restaurant. There's someone else from church, and I even though I had lived here for a long time, I felt like I was still a stranger to the area because I
mm.
would go places and I didn't know anyone. Like I knew the handful of people at work, and
Yeah.
then that was like it. And it wasn't until I started coming to revival that like I started seeing people out and about in town, and
Mm,
that like even though that's like a really small thing, that made it feel like this was home. Like
yeah.
oh, I can go here and like there's somebody I know. I'm at the grocery store. Oh boom! I can't tell you how many times I bump into like Malcolm and Ashley at Wegmans just because like
Mm,
we all shop there and
yeah. That's
um,
the community.
yeah, and then you
Yeah.
just stop and talk and it's a nice little surprise to your day, to bump into someone that you know and have a nice little chit chat.
Yeah.
Um, so what were like some things that like you when you started CrossFit? It could either be at Revival or at CFI that you that like kind of was unexpected to you.
Mm, I guess how everybody helps one another. But the one thing for me, I didn't realize how much I missed the exercising with other people because I've always been a person to kind of try to stay in shape.
Mm-hmm.
But I used
Are
to
you
do a
are you
lot.
prior mill?
Yeah, yeah. I was Navy for 8 years, so we did our PFT, which it wasn't very strenuous. I mean, we had a
Mm-hmm.
mile and a half run, push-ups and sit-ups,
But you
and
worked out as a unit, most likely. I'm
yeah,
assuming.
we worked out together, right? And I always liked that, whether it be running, push-ups. And when I was in Millington, we had Marine and Navy together because the Marines, were training at the Millington Naval Air Station for their aviation.
Mm-hmm.
They use Navy for, a lot of their instructors and classes.
That's our
So
right everywhere.
yeah, yeah. Hey, so we just would work out together and run, and I always stayed in shape, but I used to work out by myself, either a gym. I have stuff in the basement that I used to work out in, or in the basement, but it just gets boring.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I started working out with people, and it was almost like you just get drawn to it. I mean, not everybody does, but if you do, you do. The
Yeah,
people that do,
I feel like there's also like a lot of people that they normally wouldn't, but they give it a chance and then they start to get to know these people, and
yeah,
then it's not like working out with strangers, it's like working out with your friends,
yeah.
and it can be intimidating, like get like walking up to someone and talking to them and introducing yourself,
Initially, yes.
and so like being aware of that, you do a good job at introducing yourself to new people and being friendly, and we all know I'm a chatty Cathy, so like I do too. But I wasn't always like it wasn't always easy for me to walk up to a stranger and start talking to them, and
Mhm.
so it got easier. But it got easier because I'm put just like anything, I'm putting the reps in. I walk up to someone, it feels a little awkward. I say hey, and then the next time it's a little less awkward, and then
That's
the next time it's a little less awkward. And now
yeah,
I just see someone new, I say, you know, how's it going? I usually don't even tell them that like I'm a coach if I've been working out. I just like
yeah,
just want them to see a friendly face and someone they can talk to. They'll figure it out when they walk in at 6:30 on a Thursday. You know, like.
yeah. Oh man, he's one of the coaches. He was talking to me. But yeah, and I felt that at Revival. I didn't feel that as much at CFI. It wasn't as I mean, it was welcoming. They welcomed you, but it wasn't as welcoming. But I did get that initially from the start at Revival. You know, it felt like, wow, this place is very welcoming. They're very friendly. You know, they want to see you, you know, do your best. And I didn't feel pressure. And I think some people might feel pressure to be RX, you know, to do everything perfect. But I never got that. I didn't get that really at CFI, but I didn't get that welcoming feeling of, hey man, come on, you know, you're one of us. Do your best, and we'll show you, you know, how to get better.
Mm-hmm.
But I got that definitely at Revival from the start.
That's
You know,
good.
me and Katie, I was fumbling around, Katie Rose, and I was fumbling around with trying to sign in before I even knew how to sign in with the phone.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, well, "I was trying to sign in." She goes, "Here, let me show you." There you go. All right, there you go, Chance. And I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah.
thank you." So it was like, wow.
You probably bumped into one of the best people to bump into
Yeah,
to feel
that's
welcome.
30. See, that's the 6:30 because she was in there. So it was a great person to bump into. So I try to pass that on because I felt so welcome from my start that I want other people to feel that,
Mm-hmm.
the new people.
And it really, I really have to agree with you on that one. Like, uh, you know, most of the time I'm working out in the afternoon, so that's like the biggest gauge I have. I have sometimes coached in the mornings, but even then, most of my coaching is in the evenings, the 6:30 crew. Um, and there there's something about, maybe because that class is typically really small, you can't hide.
Mm,
There's no hiding there, right? And so
right.
like if I'm coaching and it's a smaller class and I have you and Nima and Nicole and Jeff and a new person, that new person is gonna be talked to by all of those people, right?
Yeah.
Like they're gonna walk away knowing some names, and they're not gonna be able to sit in the corner and just like fall into the wayside. And I think that is a real value added to that time slot.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's some great things about the other time slots too, like 6 a.m. If you really want to push yourself, those guys just fucking get it. Like
Yeah.
they get after it. You want to get good fast, show up to 6 a.m. and you won't even be trying to like RX things. You'll just be pushing yourself harder because the common denominator of those guys is,
Yeah.
if you're willing to get up at 6 in the morning to go work out, you're
Yeah.
willing to
Want
push.
they want to be there.
But it
Yeah.
is a big class, so I could see where you could like kind of hide in the corner and not get known for a little
Mm.
bit.
Yeah. And then the what I like about 6:30, we're not rushed to get out.
Yeah, I
So
love that too.
you know, I do like that. It's like, all right, we're done at 7:30, and like tonight, Nicole was telling me, "Hey, man, it's 7:30. You got to go. You got to get home for the. You're getting on. You know, you're getting on the podcast." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's right. I do have to roll out of here because I'm."
I would be lying if I didn't say I was a little bit worried about that.
Yeah, you know how I am, man. You know how I am. I'll linger until like 7:45, 7:50. You know, we'll put away all the equipment and make sure everything's tidied up, and then and we're talking to each other. So
It's one of the things I love about coaching that time slot is I don't have to worry about going over. You guys can always finish your workout,
yeah, we can finish.
and then if we have a little bit of time, I could throw in something extra, and the people that need to
Hmm.
go can go, and the people who want to stay and work on it can stay and work on it.
Yeah,
Um, I really love that about it.
yeah,
Uh,
that's a good time.
I'm gonna show this comment.
What does it say? Let me see if I can. Let me put my glasses on. If I can read it. I don't know.
It says, "Don't you worry, I cleaned up all his goods." This is
Thank you,
Nicole.
Nicole. Thank you.
So yeah, so yeah, you knocked out your first competition, and it seems like you got the bug.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you
Keith
didn't.
and I signed up for the Masters for the October 15th.
That's really
And then
cool.
we practiced that tonight, man. I didn't think we were going to do all three wides, but we did.
Okay, how'd they
Yeah.
feel?
They felt pretty good. Not too bad. I mean, we didn't know the weight because they haven't posted the weights. They just
Oh, they
posted the
didn't.
sizes. Yeah, this the movements. So there was something a little different there, though. That was a 40-inch box with the. We think it's going to be a 100-pound sandbag.
Okay.
You bring it up to the top of the box, push it over, and then you go over. But you do a burpee first.
Ooh.
You pick up the bag, put it on the top, push it over. Then you go over, do another burpee. Boom, boom. You do four of those. Six toes the bar, and then your partner is rowing until you're done.
Okay.
You get on the rower, and that's for 10 minutes.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
we
I saw
did,
you guys rowing.
yeah, we did that for 10 minutes, and then the other one was the ski. For 6 minutes, you ski and you do snatches, where your partner does snatches and holds the bag
Okay.
while they do the ski, and then they do the snatches. When they're done, you drop the bag, then you go for 6 minutes back
All
and forth.
right.
So it'll be fun. I mean, we're gonna practice it. We'll probably do it again next week sometime.
All
Just
right.
get familiar with the movements. Hopefully, they'll post some weight, so we'll
Make
know.
sure make sure you guys definitely either go into the Facebook group or do something to let us to remind us the date because
Yeah,
you know I know some of us will be interested to show up
cool.
and cheer you guys on.
Yeah, I think it'll be a good time.
Do you think because you and Keith are kind of in the same boat where you are a little older than the average I I don't know if it's the average member or the average regular for sure, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Uh, what do you think is like some advantages of training with guys that are like 20 years younger, and what are some disadvantages of that?
Well, I think the disadvantages are if you've gotten out of shape, your cardio really starts to go the older you get. And the advantage is to get the cardio to keep up, try to keep up with you guys and just push yourself because not everything, or we're not going to be as quick or as good at a lot of the strength movements. I'm not going to be as strong as, you guys, but just to get through the movements. And sometimes, you feel like, oh, I want to do more weight, but I think that's when you get the injuries if
Yeah,
you push it too much. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. There's definitely a little extra care. Yeah, I mean, I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm old, but I'm hitting that age where I have to start remembering that I'm not as
Hmm.
young as I used to be,
Yeah. It's just,
and
yeah. Take it into
um,
consideration so you don't get hurt. Because I like to be there. I don't want to get hurt and then not have to take off weeks or months or at a time because I like to be there, 5, 6 days a week.
the goal is always to be able to come back the next day.
The
So
next
you don't
day,
want to push it
right?
too
That's
hard.
Yep, yep. Get through the battle and keep it going. Don't
I
do.
I do. I was just talking to Mike about this. I think it was yesterday. Yeah, and we recently had like a high school reunion, and I didn't go because I don't live anywhere near it, and I'm not driving all the way up for a high school reunion. But pictures were posted, and just looking at how some of my peers that I graduated with look compared to like how I look today, it's a stark difference. Like some of them look like 10, 15 years older than me,
Wow.
and I know it's not just exercise, it's not just CrossFit. I mean, like you, I was in the military, so like I had to, you know, straight from out of high school, I had to like stay in shape,
Hmm.
and even though my diet wasn't always awesome, like it had to have been better. You know, when you're stuck eating at a chow hall, you can only eat so
Right.
poorly, right? And
Yeah.
then so like being forced to stay in shape and then getting out and finding fitness pretty quickly. Um, I didn't have a lot of time to just like I never put like 10 years of bad habits, on the
Right.
road or that kind of mileage. And I think that really pays off, especially as we get older. Like it pays
Definitely.
dividends.
Dividends as you get older. Yeah. Because I had a span in there, like my late 30s into my 40s, where I wasn't really exercising. I was working a lot and just, my kids were still little. And that's all I was really doing was just working, working, working. And I wasn't resting as well. And I really didn't feel well. And like my blood pressure, all that was starting to go up. I'd go and my old job with Verizon, I had to get a DOT physical, which is just for driving the bigger trucks every
Hmm.
2 years. And I started going in there in my late 30s, early 40s. And they're like, hey, your blood pressure's going up. We might have to put you on medicine. And I'm like, I don't want to take any medicine. So I started to start becoming more conscious of it in my early to mid 40s. And then now once I hit 45, I started to really think about it. And then,
Hmm.
that's been 8 years now. And I'm not
Yeah.
on any medicine or anything, but they were going to put me on stuff in my early 40s.
And I feel like once you go on, it's really hard to get off.
Yeah, it is. And if you're not watching your diet and not sleeping and not working out or exercising a little bit, the older you get, it does start to pay a toll on you.
Yeah, there was actually one point in my life where I went in for a normal physical, and they told me I was pre-diabetic, and
Mm,
uh, and yeah, there's diabetes in my family, but if I was looking at like how I was like living my life, it was really just like I ate tons of shit. Like
yeah,
it's
yeah,
just
and it's
that.
easy to get. I mean, it's easy to eat junk. It's
Hmm.
everywhere. 7-Eleven, even the grocery stores. I mean, you can just grab it and just eat whatever and just keep eating it. And I mean, sodas. I mean, I remember drinking Coke all the time, Coca-Cola, and just drinking. It was just garbage,
Yeah,
and my
and
body not in good shape.
the liquid calories really can.
Pounds heavier. Yeah, at least 15 pounds heavier. And
Yeah,
that doesn't do it your body any good either to be too heavy.
no.
Yeah.
As some of us know, been working on that one for a little bit.
Hey man, you're looking good, man. Just keep
I
it up.
appreciate
Yeah.
it.
But you helped
So,
me out a lot, man. I really appreciate that because you keep a good eye on all of us. So I mean, it's appreciated.
well, I appreciate hearing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I told you, was it a couple weeks ago? I'm gonna be harder on you now that you're
Yeah.
competing. I don't want you getting any no reps out there.
Yeah. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and normally I wouldn't do something like that if it's somebody who's coming in and they're just trying to get in shape. If they're not going, I might tell
Sure.
them like, hey, you want to squat lower, right?
Yeah.
Uh, let's work on that. But you're at the stage where you're competing. I'm gonna be like, that was no rep. You're gonna have to
Yeah.
do that one again.
Do the thumbs, the thumb
Thumbs
down.
down. Yep.
Do it again, Chance. Come on, man.
It was all out of love.
Yeah. Come on, Chance. Yeah.
Oh man. So let's ask some fun questions. What's your favorite movement?
Mm, I guess the deadlift. I like the deadlift. Yeah.
There's something about picking a lot of weight off the ground that just makes you
Yeah.
feel like a
Good,
badass.
that's a good feeling, isn't it? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good feeling. I like that. And I wouldn't have said that years ago but since I've been in CrossFit, I like the deadlift movement. But by far, man, the Murph is probably the most fun.
That's your favorite workout?
Yeah, it really is. And then getting ready for it, prepping for it. I mean, like when Ashley was doing the Weight Fest Wednesdays, that was awesome.
It's contagious for
It's
sure.
ages, man. I mean, it's like the progress of just the whole thing, getting ready for it. And it's a big event. But then when it's over, you're like, man, I wish it wasn't over. I liked the Wednesdays, but then we
Yeah.
rolled into the Friday. Grunt Work Friday has been awesome. The whole summer we've been doing that.
Hopefully the weather stays out so we can
Yeah,
push that out as long as possible. As
but
soon as it gets cold.
I like those type workouts probably the best. Those, but as one movement, I'd say the deadlift. But the whole workout, I like the grunt style stuff. I guess maybe from being in the military, the boot camp style. workouts, and then the whole Murph thing with it, just what it stands for. You
Yeah,
know.
there's something about the hero wads where I like bringing up the story. I like telling the
Mhm.
I like telling the class like why we're doing this. I might have said this on a previous podcast, but that didn't like really hit home for me for a while. Even though I was military, like uh, I kind of was just like, yeah, we're out here doing this, but like I'm not someone who like symbolism doesn't really hit with me very hard. Like,
Mm.
uh, please don't cancel me, world. But like the American flag, like itself, to me, it's just a piece of cloth. Like I
Yeah.
know it symbolizes something, but I still just see a piece of cloth. Like, and that doesn't mean I'm not patriotic. I am, I served for our military, and um, but like the feels, I don't get the feels,
Hmm.
and so I kind of was like, yeah, we're out here like doing a hard workout, but like, what does that really mean, right? Like,
Yeah.
and I know it's named after this person, but like that person's like unfortunately gone. This doesn't change
Mm.
anything. And then, um, as you know, I lost my friend this
Yeah.
year, and that put things like in a weird perspective where like
Mm.
it's not really about working out, you know. Um, and maybe like it's just like getting older and having stuff like that hit home where
Yeah.
it makes a difference now to me. Like, and I realize like, yeah, it doesn't matter, but to me it matters, and so therefore it's like worth doing now.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
like, even though I may not know Michael Murphy, I think it was Michael Murphy,
Michael Murphy.
but I even though I didn't know him, you know, while I'm doing it, I'm thinking of his family, and I'm thinking of how I felt when I lost my friend, and
Mm.
all the stuff that kind of ties into that, and it kind of adds a little bit more impact to the situation. So it's more of a cathartic healing process for me, instead of like knowing that it can't change what had happened, and it if I go do the Murph, it doesn't affect anyone else's life but mine.
Yeah.
Uh, but it gives me a time to
Start
reflect on my situation.
to think about your friend, and it brings you closer to him. I mean, it just
Mm-hmm.
something that makes you, it just makes you think about him.
Mm-hmm. So it's really interesting how my mind shift has changed, and
Wow. Cool.
kind of because of CrossFit, life experiences plus CrossFit coming together. And I would say I'm definitely a different human being now this year, having gone through that, and putting together our own workout in honor of someone, when in reality, at the end of the day, doing the workout itself didn't change anything. I mean, we did throw on an awesome fundraiser, and that was like, that was probably one of the most touching things that the gym has ever done for me. But um,
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I was glad to be part of that.
the response that we had gotten,
Yeah.
it uh, it was overwhelming at times, because I like people were like coming up to me and telling me like thank you so much. But I've like tried to do things in the past where like I would give back, and like I didn't get a lot of buy-in from people, so like it
Mm.
didn't really go anywhere, and it wasn't the same level of like emotions tied to it. So like when this one happened, and I kind of didn't care if it was just me and three other people doing the workout, and if we only raised like $20, like, and
Did
then I
that.
was like, whatever, it's $20. Um, and so I kind of went in with uh, like with no fucks given, right? Like
Mm.
I'm doing this, like I'm sold, like however small it is, and then it became an event that the whole gym participated in,
It
and
was
people
huge.
outside, and like I broke down crying a few times. It was like really overwhelming for me. Like I felt it's probably the most I've ever felt loved by an outside group of people. It was wild.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I got a couple lumps in my throat that day just thinking about it, man, and just your loss, because that's a big loss, losing a friend, and it was such a surprise to you, so that had to be tough. So I'm glad we were there for you,
Yeah,
'cause
yeah.
it's a tough time. I've never had to go through that, and
And that was the other thing. I learned how many other people had gone through it. I'm obviously
Wow.
won't be putting any names out there. That's their
Yeah.
personal business, but the fact that they were willing to share it with me was huge.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely good to be there for each other when we need it.
So so you've got this competition coming up
Hmm.
that's in the future. What are like some goals that you're setting personally as you train?
Well, I'm thinking I'm going to get on this diet with Taylor at the gym because even though I eat better than I used to, I really don't have a really like diet. I just kind of eat, whatever my wife cooks for dinner. I usually eat that over for lunch, and then, in the mornings I just eat. Usually, I will eat eggs though. I eat like eggs and maybe do a protein shake or something like that. But I'm not
Hmm.
real. I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna do the paleo diet, is what Taylor suggested, because I
Okay.
don't really count calories or watch how much I eat. It's like eat this, eat till you're full, which is what I always do, but it just cuts out the carbs.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
it
I guess you get carbs from fruit and vegetables, but it's because you can still eat fruits and vegetables. But I think it's
yeah,
grains are gone, and the
and
dairy.
and and if you do that, I would say prioritize those carbs like before your workout. Um,
Okay,
like
so I have it.
maybe a half hour to an hour before, depending on how it feels in your stomach. Probably stick with an hour, and that's just the way so you'll have like the glycogen to do the workout. And
Okay,
if uh, if you're on it and you're feeling like just run down,
yeah,
I've never done paleo, so I don't know. You probably can have a little bit more carbohydrates than I have done in the past. 'Cause I did keto in the past, and
hmm,
I even gave that carnivore diet a try for a little bit.
mm,
And the one thing I noticed was I never felt like I was in like fifth gear. Like
okay.
you couldn't get like
You didn't have the energy.
yeah, you couldn't get rolling, and that was a big thing for me. And so I would pay attention to your energy levels throughout the workouts. If you notice like a huge drop, um, probably talk to Taylor and just be like, "Hey, this is how many carbs I'm eating. Like,
Right.
and this is when I eat them. Like, should I be prioritizing or changing things around?" But overall, like the paleo diet's like main thing from my understanding is like whole foods, and eating whole foods is really beneficial than processed foods anyway.
Yeah, so I'm excited about doing that. That's a goal for me, is to get my diet a little bit more in check, and then just keep working out and getting better with all the movements.
Sounds good. I mean, really, that's all we can do, right? Just
Yeah,
work
that's
on
all
the
we can do
movements.
is work on the movements and get better. And like you said, don't get stay healthy. Don't get hurt, so you can keep coming.
Yep.
Keep coming.
If you're not feeling it, scale it down and be able to come
Yeah,
back tomorrow.
scale,
Yeah.
scale. I like that. Scaling is not. What did you tell me? Scaling. I think it was you that told me. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
I
was you.
did.
You told
Well,
me. I said. I think I said something one day like, "Oh, I cheated. I used a 14-pound ball or something like that," and you were like,
mm-hmm.
"Scaling's not cheating, Chance.
Nope, it's
You just
not.
scale. It's cool. You're
Cheating
okay, bud."
is cheating is lying about what you did.
Yeah, right. Cheating would be, "Oh no, I used a 20-pound ball. I got through it."
Yeah, you checking
Yeah,
that RX on Wodify or
yeah,
purposely not doing as many reps as you said. That's cheating.
yeah.
Making the workout more appropriate for where you're at that day is
Scaling
not
is
cheating.
not cheating.
Yeah,
Oh, the cat wants to get on.
yeah. That's why I always have like a little paragraph under my workout just to note everything I did.
Yeah,
Not for
that's
everyone
smart.
else. It's for me, but
Yeah,
like
too,
also
yeah,
some of it's also like some people are competitive, and if they're looking over and they're thinking how the hell did he do that? Well, then I just have to pop up on Wodify and see like I didn't.
right. I almost did. I
Yeah, I
scaled.
almost did it.
Yeah.
I think I did extra wall balls today. I lost count. That's terrible. That was not cool.
Oh wow, man.
I was
That
doing on the last set of 50. I was doing sets of 5, or it's not sets of 5, sets of 10, and
I couldn't even do that, man. I started doing singles.
I finished and I was like, is this 30 or 40?
Wow.
I was like, I don't know. And I was
that.
like, oh no. And like,
I do that
so
all
I
the time.
did one more set of 10, and I was like, I could be done right now. And I'm like, but I don't know if I'm done right now. So I did 10 more, and I was like, man, I could have done
Man, you got
60.
the 60. That's awesome. Yeah, I hate when I do that, but I do that all the time. Yeah, I'll start losing count. I didn't lose
Yeah.
count of that box though, because I was focusing on that box tonight. Because that
Yeah.
50 of those, man.
That can be
How about that workout? That was
that
a
can be a leg destroyer, man.
man, the box.
I believe somebody in 6 a.m. got a pretty good gash in their leg.
Oh man, I
Yeah.
see that. I know I felt it the day we did the syndicate and when we rode the bike
Hmm.
and we walked over to the box and I thought, uh-oh. Before I even tried to jump the first time, my legs were just rubber. So I just really
John
jumped.
Dutton ate shit his first one.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
That's what I did. He told me.
yeah,
Yeah, y'all told
he's it scared me. He fell, and I was like,
uh-oh.
"Yo, John's fucked up." And then he got back up and kept
It just
jumping. I was
kept
like,
going.
"All right, oh, maybe
Those guys are doing a triathlon this weekend.
those
John
gu-
Adam, and
yeah
JJ and I think Carrie's doing it.
those guys are made differently. They
They're
don't make them like they used
man,
to."
they're like just a couple years younger than me. I think they're probably. I think John's maybe later 40s, but I don't know, man.
And you know what? Yeah, you're saying I came up to you, and I introduced myself to people, and you and Katie introduced herself to you, and like, and now you try to return that favor. John was that guy for me. My
Awesome.
first workout, my first workout in the gym, John came up to me and told me how good of a job I did, and
Wow.
I didn't know anyone obviously. My wife was a member, but she pulled me in, but she was working out at a different time than I was, just because
Mm.
kids and stuff. So I
Yeah.
didn't know anyone when I was coming in, and I don't think I ever told John that, but like that made a difference because I was like, okay, that guy's watching. He realizes I'm here. Like I don't
Wow.
feel like I don't feel like a fly on the wall. So
Good feeling.
and every time it was like before I even like opened up and became the social butterfly that I am, like every class that he was in with me, he would come over and tell me I did a good job
Man.
and make a point to.
Awesome.
So, yeah, it makes a difference, especially when you're new.
When you're new, it makes a difference. It really
Yeah.
does. Yeah. Yeah, they're good guys, man. Yeah.
So, I can't take all the credit. I'm just paying it forward.
That's all we can do.
Yep.
Is keep it going. Revival.
Revival. All right, man. This has been great. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to come out here.
Man, I appreciate you inviting me on, man.
Yeah.
This has been fun.
Yeah. You have any last parting words for the people at Revival? Any advice?
Revival. I say revival, you say fitness.
Well, thanks, Chance. And to any people who watch, and if you don't know Chance yet, drop into a 6:30 class and say hey to him.
Come on out tomorrow night.
Super friendly. Yeah. He's one of the guys that make this place special. So I appreciate you being a member. I love, like I said in the beginning, I love having you in class. And I can't wait to see like where you go from here, because you're just killing it.
Thanks,
Seems
Mike.
like you're never too old to learn new tricks. I guess they were wrong. You can teach an old dog new tricks.
You
'Cause
can teach an old dog new tricks.
I see
So,
you doing some pretty toes to bar and some double unders, and I just love it. I get so excited. That day you got double unders on that EMOM where I like took the rope away from you.
yeah,
I got so excited.
that was cool.
Yeah.
Hey, you've
It
been
was like
helping.
the very next round too.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to keep working on those, though, man. I got to get those. I got to get them.
Yeah.
Double.
Keep coming to Thursday, and whenever we have a little extra time, you'll be doing them. So.
Right on. Appreciate it.
All right, man. You have a good night. I'll let you rest up, and
All right. I'll see you all tomorrow
I'll
night.
see you tomorrow. Yeah. All right,
6:30?
man.
All right, man. Have a
Yep.
good night. All right.
Yep. You too,
All right.
man.
All right, guys.
Later.
Bye-bye.